Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic interconversion of potential and kinetic energy. I should use the abbreviation PE for potential energy and KE for kinetic energy as it saves the time. Yeah. So we are considering the first case, and the first case is a freely falling body. For a freely falling body, let we take that the object is falling from a height h. This is a height h, and we are dropping the ball or the object from here. As we are dropping it, the initial velocity can be taken as 0. So we can take the two energies here at this point. Say this point A, and this point at the bottom or the ground, it is B. At point A, we can have the potential energy, that is U at A is equivalent to mgh. If the object is taken to be of mass m, acceleration due to gravity at that place is g, and h is the height. So UA is equals to 0. But when we talk about the kinetic energy at the point A, it is equivalent to 0 as the initial velocity is 0 at point A. So we can find out that because of the initial velocity being 0, the kinetic energy at that point A is also 0. Now if we talk about the point B, when the object is just about to strike the ground, as h becomes 0, so potential energy at point B also comes equal to 0. Now, what about the kinetic energy? As by the third equation of motion, we can write the final velocity square is equals to u square plus 2 into acceleration due to gravity g and height h. But as we know that the initial velocity was 0, right? So, if this value comes 0, then the final velocity remains v square is equals to 2gh. Now, we have for the kinetic energy, the formula we use is half m, that is mass of the object, v square, v is the velocity of the object. Now, we can place the value of v square from the above equation. We find out half m into 2gh. Now, this is the value of kinetic energy at point B. Solving it out, we get kinetic energy at point B equivalent to mgh. Now, if we compare at point A, UA was mgh while kinetic energy at A was 0. Now, at point B, we can find out potential energy at point B is equals to 0, but the kinetic energy at point B is equals to mgh. So what we find out that in the process of falling, the potential energy converts into the kinetic energy, right? And the kinetic energy, which was 0, turns out at point B as the potential energy to be 0. So the whole potential energy at the height h is converted into the kinetic energy at point B. Now, let's we discuss another case, the second case for an upward projected body. Yes, we have the body with some initial velocity, so it will have to reach a height and come back under the effect of gravity. So this is the case where we again talk about a height. An object is thrown up with the initial velocity, say u. It reaches up to a height, a certain maximum displacement, and then it comes back. At the highest point, as at the moment, for a very small instant, or we can say instantaneous velocity at this point, becomes 0. The height traveled by the object is h. Now, what we have to do? We have to say that this is the point A and this is the point B. Now we have to see the interconversion of potential energy and kinetic energy. Here we have at point B the kinetic energy at point B is equals to half mu square, but the potential energy at B is equals to 0 as the height is equals to 0 at this point. So if we discuss the point B, we get the kinetic energy as the half mu square value, and now we are going to the point A, and at point A we find out that the kinetic energy at point A should come to 0 because the final velocity is 0 at the height h. Now what about the potential energy? It should be equivalent to mgh. Okay, so we should write ub is equals to mgh. For the value of h, we have to consider the third equation again. The final velocity v square is equals to u square minus 2 into g into h. Because the acceleration due to gravity tends to decrease the motion, we can use this equation. Here I have used the negative sign to show the deceleration. Now the v square value as it is 0, right? Because the final velocity it comes equal to 0. So we have to see that u square is equals to 2gh. If we find out the value of h, it is u square upon 2g. Now as we know at the point A, ua should be equivalent to mgh. We have to put the value of h, which is mg. Now u square by 2g, it is the value of h. So we, after solving, we get m u square upon 2. For the less space, we are going to take this example like this. We find out the value of potential energy at point. We find out the value of potential energy at point A as half mu square. Now we have the 2 points A and B. We find out the initial point which we have designated as B. The kinetic energy at B was equivalent to half mu square, and the potential energy ub is equals to 0 because h is 0 at that point. Now kinetic energy at point A, when the final velocity becomes 0, we get this value as half m v square is equals to 0 because v is 0, but the potential energy at point A comes equal to half m u square, and we find out the kinetic energy converts into the potential energy in this case. So what we find out that for the body projected under the acceleration due to gravity or the gravitational field of Earth, the potential energy and kinetic energy are interconvertible, or are interconvertible. Now the next topic we are going to see is the law of conservation of energy. The law of conservation of energy says if a system is isolated, that is, it cannot exchange the mass energy to any other surroundings or any other system, for an isolated system like this, the total energy remains constant. Or we can say, as the conclusion of this law, we can say, or we used to say, it's a beautiful idiom in the world of science, that energy cannot be created, cannot destroyed. This is what we say under the law of conservation of energy. Now we have a more peculiar topic here, the law of conservation of mechanical energy. I am using the abbreviation ME for the mechanical energy. Now, what happens when we talk about the conservation of mechanical energy? First of all, we have to classify, or we have to give the condition that the object is working under, or object is displaced under, or object is projected under the action of conservative force. So, the conservative fields, the conservative forces are in the picture here. If the conservative forces are acting on a body, then the sum of K and P, that is kinetic energy and potential energy of any body at any instant, remains constant. So this is what we say the law of conservation of mechanical energy. Now, if we have to say that the change in kinetic energy, for this we have to prove that the kinetic energy initial plus potential energy initial is equivalent or is equal to the sum of kinetic energy final and potential energy final. For this, find out that this process, if it happens so, Ki minus Kf is equivalent to Uf minus Ui. Now, for the right hand side, we can see that this is the change in the potential energy. But here, it is the negative of change of kinetic energy, as the change is considered to be the final value minus initial value. What we see, the increment in the potential energy comes in the decrement in the kinetic energy, or we can say the increment in the kinetic energy shows itself in the decrement of the potential energy. So, for the conservation of mechanical energy, we can say that the presence of conservative forces, if the kinetic energy is increased by some amount, then the decrement will be shown in the potential energy with the same value. So this is what we say, the law of conservation of mechanical energy. So here we have seen that the conservation of mechanical energy verified. But obviously we should take care that always when we are talking about the conservation of mechanical energy, we are talking about the conservative force fields. Here, the energy is only interconvertible into the kinetic energy and the potential energy. The other frictional forces or the other forces which are not conservative are absent here. Now we are going to discuss the conservation of mechanical energy for a freely falling body. Here we are taking a body of mass m which is dropped from a certain height h. As it is dropped, its initial velocity is taken to be 0 meter per second. The mass we have discussed, the object is of mass m. Now it is falling under the action of gravity, and as we know, the gravitational force is a conservative force. This is the point A we can consider. Some midpoint B we can consider, and just before striking the ground the point C is considered. For the point A we can get the value of potential energy and kinetic energy, as we have discussed, is just before few minutes. U is equals to 0. U is equals to mgh, and kinetic energy at point A is equals to 0 because of the initial velocity being 0. Now at point B, the potential energy should have some finite value, and kinetic energy at point B should also have some finite value, because after traveling the height x, because in the reference of point C it is having a certain height, so that at point B the object should possess potential energy, and because it is falling, it is under the process of falling, it has started its journey from the initial velocity 0, but because it is acting under the acceleration, positive acceleration, its velocity should increase. So at point B, the object is having a height as well as velocity. So the energy should be in the combined form of the potential as well as the kinetic energy. So now here we can say, because of the height is h minus x, we can say the potential energy at point B is mgh minus x. But as the kinetic energy is equivalent to half of m velocity at point B square, for the velocity at point B, we can have the aid of third equation of motion. Vb square is equals to u square plus 2g x, as the initial velocity was 0. So the velocity comes equal to 2gx. By replacing the value of Vb square in the expression of kinetic energy at point B, we can find out the value comes equal to mgx. Now, if we consider the total mechanical energy at point B, it comes equal to ub plus kb, as ub equal to mgh minus x and kb comes equal to mgx. When we just solve this expression, we comes out with the conclusion that the energy at point B is equivalent to mgh. As well, if we go for the point A, we can see here the potential energy and the kinetic energy. If their sum is taken, the energy at point A is taken to be mgh. Now we go for the point C. The kinetic energy at C should be half m velocity at point C square. For the velocity at point C, we can use the third equation. We get the value 2gh because u square is equivalent to 0. So the kinetic energy at point C equal to mgh. But the potential energy at point C is equal to 0 because height is 0 in the reference on point C. So the total energy at point C comes equal to the sum of kinetic energy at point C plus potential energy at point C, and it is equal to mgh. So what we have observed in this process, that mechanical energy at point A, mechanical energy at point B, mechanical energy at point C is the same value. So it verifies the mechanical energy conservation for the conservative force field, that is the gravitational field, theoretically.